up on the golf course. Oh, shit. So I was home, took it for a run. See that 712,000? That trip there, 348, 18.6 miles to the gallon. Did about 63 mile an hour the whole time. 712,000, man. Training's been replaced, but the engine's still original. See if we can get a few more out. Alright guys, gonna be going back in service tomorrow. Been off for about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks actually. And in those little over 2 weeks, it's not really been a lot of relaxed time. There was a little bit, but not much. For most of that time, the van was at the shop. I had picked it up at one point and then ended up having to take it back. Nothing was wrong. It was just they had gotten that valve cover, and I just figured why not get it done. So I ended up taking it back and getting it done. So on top of that, as I said before, I've got one van going already, got a driver in it. And then I've got the 2011 Econoline, which I'm kind of part-time in it. But with doing that, still takes a lot of time. You don't realize how much time it would take, but it's just miscellaneous phone calls, miscellaneous questions, just the relationships in general that you have with the drivers. Just there's a lot of time involved in that. Paying attention to the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, the couple of drivers, family. Gets kind of busy. You stay pretty busy with just miscellaneous stuff. So as an owner operator and a fleet owner, you don't really get a ton of time, especially being a small fleet owner. It's difficult to get really good time to where you can just kind of step away for a little bit right now. I'm not sure how it is with guys that own a lot of vans, as far as 10, 15, 20. I would imagine they have to have a fleet manager of some sort. They got to have some system in place. That'd be difficult for one person to take care of by themselves. So I would imagine them having some kind of system in place would help give them a little bit of time to themselves, that they don't have to be have their finger on the pulse of everything every single minute. I wanted to touch on that because some people might think that it's pretty simple to just get some vans and deal with it, which it is and it isn't. That's the thing. Like for mine's a little more difficult because I have a dicey personal life. I have a pretty crazy personal life, so that makes dealing with business a little harder and a little more difficult. But it's still time consuming. Even if you had things going on good at home, it would still be time consuming. And some people don't even want to mess with it. Like, they don't want the hassle of dealing with breakdowns, driver calls, company calls, just anything. They just don't want to deal with it. Anyhow, I got interrupted there. Phone call from my daughter with the grandbaby, sorry. Well, there's part of it. It's, family don't know when I'm in the middle of doing anything, whether it be doing a video, whether it be getting paperwork together or spreadsheet together, information processed, emails made. They don't know. And that can be irritating when you're in the middle of doing something like that and then they call. Because me personally, I'm just one of them types that if the family's calling, I don't know how to hit ignore or whatever, because you just never know what's going on. But yeah, that's one of the things I want to touch on. I just kind of want to jump on here and kind of touch on that for a moment, as far as how the home time goes when you you know, when you're an owner operator and, you know, small fleet owner, it can be pretty hectic. So be forewarned. You know, it's not super simple. I mean, it's not extremely difficult either. It's just about how you can manage time and manage everybody at once. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Other thing I wanted to kind of talk on, because Mark, you know, he's got a channel, Expediting with Brother Mark. He's the driver in my other Transit, and he did a video talking about home time, and as far as how to manage home time and pretty much basically make the most of being on the road and get home time. I think is pretty much the gist of what he was trying to get across. The thing is, I've touched on the home time thing before. Like me personally, and again, I go a little harder on the road than the average person out here, and there are some that go harder than me, so it's not like I think I go harder than anybody, but I get my home time when I can fit it in. For example, say I'm running really well. I'm not trying to go home until that wave has been ridden all the way out. Like, things are going to have to start to slow down after I've been running hard, and then I'll be like, okay, first chance I get near the house, I'm going home. Now, on the opposite end of that, say I've been out for a couple of weeks and I just can't get shit going. Just, you know, can't get any traction going. It's just been kind of stumbling and bumbling. Can't crack 2,000 miles or anything. It's just been a rough 2 weeks. There's times, weekends coming, I'm going home. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna regroup. I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm gonna spend time with the family. Then I'm gonna come back out on Monday or Tuesday and, you know, get back at it again. Hope to create a new energy, a new cycle, ride a new wave, get in a different area, whatever it may be. That's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just trying to change that mojo, so to speak. So those are two of the ways that I try to get my home time, you know, to fit it in where it gets in. I very rarely schedule time. Very, very rarely. Because the problem with scheduling the time, and here's another reason why I, you know, fit it in where I can. You schedule it, you tell dispatch, hey, I need to be home on Friday of this week. Monday comes of that week, they get a load getting you near the house. Now they don't really want to touch you because they can't say for sure that they're going to take you away from near your house and then be able to get you back. So unless you tell them, hey, I don't care where I land, I'll get home, just run me. If you don't do that and you just say, hey, I need to be home, what's going to happen? Now if they got you there, now you're very limited. You got near the house on Tuesday, you don't have to be home till Friday. Now you've pretty much wasted 3 to 4 days of possible earnings because you wanted to get home that one specific day. Now it's different if you have, say, surgery, something very important you need to get home for. But if you're scheduling that home time just because you decided you want to go home, you felt like you've been out long enough, if your main goal is to earn, you're going to affect that goal. Now, if you're not concerned with getting the most out of being out here, then, you know, none of this means shit that I'm telling you. But if you're out here to earn, which most people should be, especially if you're away from your family and you have family at home, you're trying to maximize and be the most efficient with that time between home and on the road. Just for example, like he just landed on Friday. He had landed near Chicago. It's actually Indiana. It was in Kokomo, Indiana. And so he was about 150 miles from the house, and it's coming up on the weekend. And that's where he wants to go, which is understandable. I mean, you want to go home. You're close to home. You're thinking, shit, it's the weekend. I want to go home. But you have to focus on your goals. Your goals is you're in a money situation and you're out here to make money. You've got to be thinking money first at this point, especially with the fact that, you know, him personally, he just came off a home time. So he hadn't even been gone, not even a week yet, like not even 4 days, well, 4 days maybe. So if money is your main reason you're out here, because you know, whatever your situation is financially, the smart decision when it comes to money is, where is the best spot for me to be on the weekend to make money? And so, you know, and I told him, I said, Chicago Chicago's probably the best for a weekend run, your best opportunity. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's probably your best opportunity. And he was about 130 miles from being in the Chicago area. So I told him, I said, if you're looking to make money, Chicago's where you want to be. If not, you know, go home. I said, the choice is yours. And in saying that, I'm going to let a driver, you know, that hasn't been with me very long or anything, anybody that I would be mentoring or helping, or they want my advice, I'm going to let you do what you want to do until it starts affecting, you know, until you start getting bad results doing what you're doing. Now, in some of the things, I may feel like it's going to end up with bad results, but I need you to experience it to understand why I'm saying not to do it this way, but to do it this way. So that's why, you know, me personally, knowing his situation, the first move should have been Chicago. Get near Chicago for the weekend, try to run. Now, I gave him the choice. Now, what ended up happening, and this is why I'm bringing it up, is what ended up happening is that had a battery issue. One of the auxiliary batteries went bad, and I was just going to have him get one out on the road up there in Chicago or something to keep him running, but he had one at home, and it was basically made more sense to get him home, to get the oil changed, to get the battery changed, and then be able to get home time all at the same time. So all those things worked out to where you, again, are being the most efficient with your time. So he got home time, got the battery changed, got the oil changed, you know, in an area where he knows places, and he's, you know, it's easier for him to get around or find the right place for us to get what we want done without getting ripped off, or somebody he trusts, whatever it may be. So that's where it comes into play as far as being efficient with your time, you know, your home time and your road time. Now, if those things wouldn't happen, like I said, I believe he was planning on going to Chicago because, you know, I told him the same thing. It's just like, if you're concerned with making money, Chicago's the place to be. You know, you make up your mind. So as I said, that's just something to be mindful of. You want to find out where the best place to be is at certain times, when the right time to go home is. And again, this doesn't say sacrifice your home life. Like I said, if shit's bad at home and you need to go home, you should go home. You probably shouldn't even be doing this job. Like, you have to have a very supportive family to be able to do what we do, and, you know, do it to the point that you can make some good money. Because in order to make good money, you got to be in service, which means you got to be on the road, and which means you got to be away from home. Now, I hope that wasn't just a bunch of rambling. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to explain in there. You know, because there are a bunch of questions people ask about trying to be home, and that's why I've done the recent videos trying to explain what expediting really is as opposed to courier work. And, you know, speaking of the courier stuff, Dell, any of you that watch Big D or whatever, he's got a channel. Well, now he's back to doing courier type stuff. He's with Amazon, and he's got a history and experience doing courier work. So if anybody has realized that expediting isn't what they want, that maybe courier work is, that's the channel you probably want to check out. Expedite, well, I don't know what he changed it to, actually. It used to be Expediting with Big D, so you could probably look that up and find it initially, and then, you know, do the change from there. And as I mentioned, my driver has a channel, Expediting with Brother Mark. He's only been expediting about 2 months altogether. He has done some local work and some over-the-road moving stuff in the past, so he's got experience over the road. But his experience in expediting, you know, he's new at it. So if anybody's wanting a new person's perspective, you know, that's where to go. Check out what he's going through. You know, see what kind of thoughts he's got going on in his head, because he's got a family at home, and his goal is to become an owner-operator and possibly become a fleet owner, and so on and so forth. So, you know, see how it turns out for him. You know, follow his journey as far as how this is going for him. Because any of you that have actually looked for expediting channels, it is extremely difficult to find expediters in a van, YouTube channels for expediters in a van that are still currently doing it. Like, and there's not even that many overall that's done it and then quit. But I've found maybe 10 altogether. And out of all those, I mean, the driver, you know, Mark, and Expedite Travels, those are the only two current expediting channels that I'm aware of at the moment. And Expedite Travels, he's a Canadian. He lives in Canada and does expediting. He comes into the States. So if anybody is in Canada that wants that kind of information, Expedite Travels is a channel to check out. I wasn't doing this video intending to be trying to do shout outs. It's just I'm trying to share information, not give shout outs. Because as I've touched on it before, getting all different perspectives is the way to go. That's what you got to do. You got to see everybody's perspective and see which one might best fit yours. Alright guys, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm going over by my brother's. I got to chit chat with him about a few things. Yesterday was the wife's birthday. Went and got a room. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of the hotel right now, and I'm gonna go to my brother's for a couple hours, come back, hang out until tomorrow, go back in service tomorrow morning, and then yeah, speaking of home time and stuff, the plan is to grind. I got the mindset that I plan on being out there at least a month straight, at the very least, unless something gets me home, needing to get me home prior to that, or I just happen to end up home for the, at the right time. Other than that, I'm not planning on going out of service for a bare minimum of a month if everything works out correctly. So, all right, I'm done rambling. Bye.